back, everyone. Before we get started on starting your nonprofit, I want to take you through the steps of starting so that you have a general understanding before we actually do it. A nonprofit is an organization that is dedicated to furthering a social cause or advocating for a shared point of view. So, what that means is it is a business that is essentially set up to help others. For example, if you want to open a transitional housing home or if you want to serve the homeless, those are all examples of nonprofit activities. If you want to help others, but you may not necessarily be able to afford it out of your own pocket, then starting a nonprofit is perfect for you. There are 3 main benefits to establishing a tax-exempt nonprofit. When I say tax-exempt nonprofit, I'm talking about a nonprofit organization that has 501c3 status. When I say that, we will go into detail about how to get 501c3 status, but while I'm talking, I'm just going to use the word nonprofit, but you will know what I'm talking about. When I say nonprofit, I mean tax-exempt 501c3 status nonprofit. As a nonprofit, you qualify to apply for grants to receive funding for your organization. So what that means is you can actually apply for free money. You can apply with the government. You can apply from different companies. You can apply to a private foundation. There are all types of organizations that give free money to nonprofits in order to further a mission that they are passionate about. So, for example, if Coca-Cola Foundation gives you $20,000, you can use that $20,000 to buy the supplies to feed the homeless if that's your mission. You can also accept donations from donors, and those donors can write the donations off on their taxes. So if you receive money from a friend, a family member, or someone who really believes in your mission, when they give you the money, they can actually write the money they gave to your organization off on your taxes at the end of the year when they file. Unlike a for-profit business, you do not have to pay taxes on the money you receive as long as it fits within the mission that you list on your paperwork. So, for example, if you receive money for your nonprofit and you're feeding the homeless with it, that is an example of furthering the mission that you designated for your nonprofit. The state and the IRS do ask you to complete paperwork explaining what your mission is. They call it a purpose, so what the purpose of your nonprofit is. We, of course, will go into that in further detail a little bit later in this course. I am going to go over every step so that you have a general idea of the process. And then in this course, I'm going to break each step into smaller parts so it's easier for you to understand. The very first thing you need to do is decide on your nonprofit's name. Once you've decided on a name, you have to make sure that no one else in the state has this name. So what we do is we'll find out if there's any other nonprofit, any other corporation, any other LLC, any other business in your state that has the same name as you. Once you have decided on a name for your nonprofit, you're going to need to recruit 3 board members. So that would include at least a president, treasurer, and secretary. You will initially need these 3 board members in order to go ahead and file for your articles of incorporation with the state. So you want to start thinking now about people who may be passionate about the mission that you have for your nonprofit, or how you can get your nonprofit's mission out to the world and start getting people interested in what you plan to do. So once you got your board members together and you're ready to go, what you're going to do is form your bylaws and conflict of interest policy. These are the rules under which your nonprofit will operate. So it will explain exactly how your nonprofit is structured. So that is number 3, your bylaws and conflict of interest policy. There are actually 2 filings that are required for nonprofits. The first filing is with your state. That is the Articles of Incorporation. So that's the first legal step to starting your nonprofit. Once your nonprofit is confirmed by the state, you are actually a nonprofit, but you're not yet a tax-exempt nonprofit. So what you want to do is, as soon as you are confirmed by the state, your articles of incorporation is confirmed, you want to go to the IRS and get an EIN number. The EIN is almost like a social security number for your business. Even for-profits have an EIN number. So that's very important, and that is what you need in order to go to the IRS and apply for 501c3 status, which is what we talked about before, which makes you able to receive grants, to receive donations that are tax deductible, and to go ahead and not pay taxes on that money that you receive. So that is why you're gonna want to have 501c3 status. And that is just an application that the IRS has made for you to apply with. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about naming your nonprofit. So go ahead and click on the next lesson and we'll talk about how to choose a name for your nonprofit. Let's get started.